Oh, we've just had it then. It's our local DJ mix this evening from Michael Moss, DJ Lyco, depending on which name you want to use. And he's still in the studio with me. And, well, I'll call you Michael for this part anyway. So we've had some texts in already. We've had one in from the boss, which is good. He was liking the vibes.
Oh yeah, we always like to hear that.
And also, actually, we've had a text in from DJ Cuthie, who's coming in a couple of weeks' time. He has been in before, also enjoying the show this evening. So it sort of like brings me to the conversation of, do you have kind of a good relationship between all the DJs on the island, or is there like a little bit of rivalry, or does some you prefer than others?
I like to think it's friendly. Rivalry is always, you're always competing against each other.
Healthy competition is good.
Healthy competition,
yes.
Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it, I would say. We're all chasing the same dream, and it's really the same kind of goal. So I think in that kind of way, we all share the same vision, and so we all do get along. I think in the grand scheme of things, I think especially being such a small community, we are really, quite a tight-knit community, I would say.
Which is nice to see. And actually going back to your set that you've just done there, you've put a lot of work into this week. I mean, you were showing me just before we come on air about the big long playlists that you've done, and obviously the brief I gave you totally nailed the brief for the music tonight. And it's quite a hard show to actually pitch for, isn't it? Because we're trying to cater for kind of like everyone, and different people have a different idea of what sort of party music is. So tell us about sort of like how you put it all together.
Obviously, it's a bit of a collaboration between myself and an older generation, being Matt, to put it nicely. But
thank you.
I like the idea of being able to bring lots of different styles and a sort of a whole generation of music, or more than a generation, I would say. And just being able to jam it all together and really bring that energy. And I wanted that 15 minutes to be full of energy, full of different ideas. Some of it are my own original ideas, our own original mashups and things like that, and just make a completely different mix to what may have been heard on here before. And it's just nice to be able to bring such famous names with likes of ABBA. You've got the likes of even Michael Jackson in there, and Beatles. Yeah, you've got so many that I just tried to really incorporate the best of what they did into a very small section of time, really. And I had a lot of help from Matt. His input was vital in what we did for this mix, and I hope people enjoyed it, really. I mean,
yeah, that's it. I think we kind of looked at it as a project. We had a time limit, we have certain genres that we had to meet. So yeah, it was trying to get as many songs that kind of flowed together quite nicely. So yeah, it's 17 songs in 15 minutes.
And is this kind of like how you normally work when you work together? Do you plan your sets, or do you just kind of go with the flow on the night?
I don't think we never. I don't think you can ever really plan a set.
Just go with the flow.
You just don't know who's going to turn up, who's listening. It's why it's interesting taking this radio concept. It's something that I've personally never done. I don't know if you've done it before, Matt.
No.
And you've given a kind of a set list, which I've never had before, and it's nice to be able to play off that, and you get a little bit more time. You can spend a little more time with it, and really get it down to a T, I think, which is quite nice. We don't really get the luxury of doing that usually in a live scenario. So
no, we have to read the crowd, see what type of clientele's in. We can kind of judge from people dancing, requests that we get, that we can then kind of tailor the night or switch from one different type of music to a different style quite quickly.
And I was going to say, do you get requests? Because sometimes people might request a song that's kind of not in the category you'd like, should we say. So how do you deal with that? And when you've got you're trying to keep the crowd going, you've got someone in front of you, do you just play it?
We'll have a look. It really does depend on that request. But we're finding now there's more and more songs coming through where they've been remixed and into a lot of different styles. So if you then collect those styles, you can then maybe not play the original, but play a remix of it.
Similar. I think the way music's seen now as well, you're getting a lot more requests that, even as a DJ, you probably never heard of, because there's such an open variety of music nowadays. It's crazy, and unfortunately, as a DJ, sometimes you just can't, you can't fulfill that request. But I think, you know, the next week you can maybe refill, because you kind of learn what kind of people are liking and things like that. But yeah, it's nice to see that people's sort of music choices open. What am I trying to say? A variety of music.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that one.
And obviously you're straight to work after the show tonight.
Yes.
At the Courthouse. So is your Courthouse, is that your regular gig?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you've been playing there how long?
I've been there 10 years.
10 years.
So pretty much since it opened.
Yeah. It was after the first 12 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do Courthouse and Peggy's as well, which is a kind of a new concept bar as well, which I enjoy playing. It's a little bit more of a disco vibe as well, but yeah, it's also enjoyable to play with.
And one of the things that was actually quite funny a minute ago is Mike Reynolds popped in the studio because he has just come in for the rock show, which will be on from 10 tonight.
Yeah.
And Matthew, yourself, you said, oh, this is the man who taught me how to DJ. So we've actually got in the building, we've got Mike has taught you have taught Michael. So is that very strong sort of like community feel on the island.
Yeah, definitely. So he taught me so many little tips and tricks to really refine my beat mixing. So yeah, and it was great to go into Jefferson's when he was DJing in Jefferson's in the 90s and listen and dance to all his music that he enjoyed playing as well. So